Bienvenidos a Deuces Wild, motherfuckers!
You got your little flippy guy in there today. Look at you go.
Yeah, and by the way, if you want to pick one of these flippy guys up, it's ericbyrnes.com, EricByrnes. All the proceeds of these flippies sold go to my tequila fund. So we appreciate each and every one of your donations.
Otherwise known as, I'm not giving it away, I'm drinking it. So,
Hey, man, it's good for the mental health.
I'm loving it. Hey, little foggy up in there, and kind of how to burn out an 0 for 4 by Eric Byrnes. I love it.
Thrill, fantastic to see you in the garage tonight, man.
Yeah, we had a little hitch in the giddy up last time we were doing this, and we actually got a nice night. It's not 1,000 degrees, so able to get out there and take a few whacks if you guys want, and answer a few questions, show you a few things, whatever you need.
We certainly want, but let's start off with Ryne Sandberg, a legend of the game, a guy that you had many battles with, double sky point, to somebody that defined an era of baseball, a Hall of Famer, a guy that I think played the game the right way, and someone who was an inspiration to a lot, especially in Chicago.
Yeah, no, I mean, what a great gentleman. That's first off, besides being an unbelievable athlete and a great competitor. And, I said it today in a post that I think I made on Twitter, X, whatever it's called. It basically said, rest in peace, for one of the faces of the Cub Nation. And that's the truth. I mean, besides, Ernie Banks and Billy Williams, Ron Santo, I mean, it's Rhino. And, he kind of redefined second base. Bigger guy, power hitter. I think he had like 340 stolen bases. He defined second base like Cal Ripken defined shortstop. And, he will definitely be sorely missed in the Cub Nation.
So you're right, because he led all second basemen in home runs before Jeff Kent actually broke his record. But the thing that resonated with me about Ryne Sandberg, I think back to those epic playoff series against the Cubs, and a lot of people obviously are going to remember you and Mark Grace, but Ryne Sandberg was their guy. That was their superstar.
Yeah, I mean, Mark and I had kind of a hellacious series, but Rhino was the guy, and Andre Dawson that year had a hellacious year that year as well. So to be able to beat them in the '89 NLCS was pretty special. Matter of fact, I mean, I hate to say it, but Ryan made the last out of that NLCS. Steve Bedrosian threw him a first pitch slider, and he hit a ground ball to Robbie Thompson. So.
Well, first of all, I don't want to say hate to say it. I mean, we're all competitors here.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, that's what happened. So,
Thrill, he had a quote here, and I wrote this on the Daily Hustle this morning. I sent it out and actually used the picture of you taking him out at second base.
Yeah.
At this time, I put Van Halen along with for the caption jump. It just seems so right. It was the 80s. It was just two of the great competitors of the sport going at it in an epic play. Here was a quote from Ryne Sandberg that this hit home with me. And this was right. It was either during his Hall of Fame speech or right after the Hall of Fame speech, whatever. But he said, a lot of people say this honor validates my career, but I didn't work hard for validation. I didn't play this game right because I saw a reward at the end of the tunnel. I played it right because that's what you were supposed to do.
There you go. Old school. What can you say? It's what you were supposed to do. It's how you were supposed to play the game. Guys back in the day remembered that. They came to the ballpark and they worked at it because that's what you were supposed to do. He did it with dignity. I mean, he was a low key type of guy, didn't show anybody up, and going to be sorely missed.
Is there anything specific that you remember about competing against him over the years? Any conversations that you had? Any interactions on the field?
Yeah, no, I mean, we talk a little bit at first base, but like I said, he was pretty quiet. I do know this: he was a dead cripple slider hitter. I mean, if you hung a slider, that it was going to get hit. He didn't miss too many hanging sliders, so he was one of the better ones at that. Looking for some of the off-speed pitches.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on here, Thrill. The Giants swept by the Mets, beat by the Pirates, 2-8 in their last 10 games. They've now fallen 8 back in the division, 4 back in the wild card. They've lost 4 in a row. Is it time to panic?
Look at you. Oh, shoot. We ain't even touched August yet, and we got trading deadline coming up, all that sort of stuff. So it ought to be interesting. But, they just gotta do a better job. I actually said something about it in a chat room. They got to do a better job runners in scoring position. I mean, when you get the runners out there, the guys have done a good job getting in scoring position. You can't put pressure on yourself. You got to know that the pressure is on the pitcher because he's the one trying to save those runs. And so it's his job to execute, and it's your job to take advantage of the mistakes instead of being way too aggressive and not swinging at the pitches that you need to swing at to drive the ball, to drive in the runs. And, that's the one thing you and I have talked about it a ton in the past is, driving in runs and especially driving in clutch runs. You have to have a game plan. You have to stick with the game plan. You have to believe it's coming. And then when it comes, you got to execute and know that you're going to execute. And sometimes some of these teams fall into the rut where that ain't the case. So
if you were to sit in on a Giants hitters meeting right now, what would you tell the boys?
I'd tell them relax and cut the plate in half. Either look in or look out. But, I mean, if you're going to look in or look out, commit to it. Don't go up there and just say, all right, I'm going to look out and just swing at anything that's out there. If you're going to look out, make sure it is a strike and then let it fly. Otherwise, you get the count in your favor, the at-bat turns around, and then, you get a chance to get a better pitch to hit. So, that would be my little, pat on the back speech to the guys.
One of the things that I've noticed watching them, when I watch them, is that they swing at too many balls and take too many fucking strikes.
Yeah. I kind of saw that last night, believe it or not. I mean, in the Pirates game, Josh and I actually texted about it. Took either a get me over slider or get me over fastball, and just nothing on it, out over the plate, and then swung at 2 pitches out the zone, kind of thing. And that is exactly why you and I just talked about it. And I said, cut the plate in half, but make it be a strike. If it is a strike, make him pay for coming in that little part of the plate. And we're just missing too many pitches right now.
All right, let's look at the lineup tonight. It's Ramos, Devers, Adames, Chapman, Flores, Schmidt, Lee, Bailey, Matos. Looking at the numbers, let's just go with OPS. Ramos is at 769. Devers 846, Adames 732, Chapman 814, and then there's some fall off. It's Flores at 697. You got Schmidt at 696, Lee's at 722, Bailey 566, and Matos 576.
What is that?
I mean, you look at Chapman's carrying his weight.
Is that on base plus slugging? Is that what that is?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, when you don't have good batting averages, I mean, all of those numbers come down. So, it starts with, you know, being able to put the ball in play, find the green grass out there, and then after that is how many times you pound the ball, you get it in the gap, and get a double, get a homer, or whatever it might be. So when you don't do those kind of things, all of those numbers go down.
Here are the batting averages: Ramos 269, Devers 259, Adames 237, Chapman 243, Flores 247, Schmidt 240, Jung-Hoo Lee 253. There's three guys, Thrill, in the lineup hitting over 250. Your thoughts?
I mean, just goes back to what we just got to be talking about. It's all the same stuff. The one thing that I've seen so far, and I wish I could have a talk with him, is Jung-Hoo. Last two games I've watched, I mean, he swings at everything. I mean, everything. It's like, dude, stick with the fastball or stick with the breaking ball, and get you more of a game plan when you're going up there. But I don't know. He was doing real well early, and then he fell off. Schmitty was doing pretty good there for a little while, and then he fell off. The guy that I've been happy about, believe it or not, is Adames.
Yeah, he's been doing well, man.
Over the last, what is it, 3-4 weeks, I guess, he's brought his average up 40 points because he was in the one somethings, and now he's at almost 240. So it's been good to see Adames swinging a bat better.
So they go up against the Pirates tonight. You got Justin Verlander on the hill. They're minus 170. This is a game they should certainly win.
Well, you would think that this is a game that they should win until you go out there, you play, and you don't execute. You don't get a base hit with runners in score position. Pretty good chance you're not going to win the game because you can't score any runs. But I think that Verlander, coming off his first win as a Giant, I think he'll be a little fired up to get after it tonight, and see if the boys can't give him a few runs to let him sort of settle in and go 5 or 6 tonight.
Yeah, Verlander finally got a fucking win.
Yeah, no, he got a win last time. The boys got him a few runs, and he was able to get the W. He went 5 and then turned it over to bullpen last time. And then last night, if anybody saw the game, Carson Whisenhunt, one of our number higher prospects, I guess you'd say, he made his big league debut. His parents were there. I know his dad was working overseas. I think it was China, and had to fly in and barely made the game. So he was there. And the one thing that I saw is, Whisenhunt's got a real good changeup. The Pirates were sitting all over it. It was so easy to see, being a hitter, as to their approach, and they didn't even care about the fastball. They was sitting changeup. Matter of fact, I think the 3-hole hitter in the first inning hit a first pitch changeup for a homer. So it was just, he was committed to the changeup the whole time. So anyway, Whisenhunt wound up settling down. He gave up 4 runs, but he went 5 innings. So that was good to see. Innings 3, 4, and 5, he actually got out of the innings with no damage. So that was good to see.
Yeah, Carson Whisenhunt from East Carolina University. He was a Pirate out there. 2nd-round pick in the 2022 draft. I like his mound presence.
Yeah.
He's got a little swag to him. Yeah. He's got some vibe out there on the mound.
Yeah, no, he definitely has a little mound presence. Like, hey, I'm out here, so that's a good thing. You even mentioned it just now, and it's at East Carolina, Coastal Carolina. All of those little Carolina teams over there now are really producing some good ball players, and he's one of them.
Yeah, certainly. Okay, Thrill, then what do you think about the Giants' prospects going forward? I know they play a lot of interdivision games as we get to September. We're about to enter the dog days of August.
Yeah.
The trade deadline's coming up. Should they be buying or should they be selling?
Well, that's a great question, and Buster, they had Buster on TV the other day, and they were kind of pegging him down on that, and he didn't give anything away. Put it that way. He kind of basically said, well, we got to see what's happening, but I can tell you one thing, going 2-8, that's not gonna bode well for going and getting some people. If you're 7-3 going into the trading deadline, that's a different story. All right, look, we got a little something going on here. We might want to add to, but it's going to be interesting to see what Buster decides to do. And what nobody really knows is kind of what the ownership group wants to do. If the ownership group says, hey, we spent enough money on Chapman, Adames, and Devers. We spent enough money. Y'all go do it with what you got. That might be the case. You never know. So it depends on what Buster is able to do, what he's given an okay to do, and then go from there.
I agree with that. They've spent in the offseason with Adames. They signed Chapman to the long-term deal. They traded for the number one available bat to get Devers. So at this point, if I'm Buster Posey, it's on you motherfuckers. Yep. You guys need to go out and perform. And it's up to them to do their job. Adames has gotten hot, which is nice. Chapman's doing fine. He's actually been pretty good since he's come back from his injury. And then Devers, it's just a matter of time before he's fucking Rafael Devers, the superstar hitter that he is.
Yeah, and I've been in the locker room where the general manager came in and said, we ain't making a move. Y'all got to go do it yourselves. I've been in that meeting before. So it's just one of those things where, like I said, it's going to depend on what Buster thinks that the team needs and if he is able to do it because of the ownership group. I don't know.
Thrill, did you ever get traded at the trade deadline?
Yes, that was when I got traded to St. Louis.
Baltimore to St. Louis.
That's the only time I got traded. Everywhere else when I changed teams was because of free agency. That was the only time I got traded, and I actually asked to be traded because I got lied to by the general manager, and I told him, I said, get me out of here. And I remember it like it was yesterday. The first thing out of his mouth, he goes, the only teams that want you is St. Louis. And I go, St. Louis? And at the time, they were in first place. We were in last place. I go, do you want me to pay for the plane flight or are you going to pay for the plane flight? I said, make the deal happen, dude. And so I got traded the next day.
That's so fucking good, man. Who was the general manager at the time?
It was Sid Thrift, and he used to be the old general manager of the Pittsburgh Pirates. So I knew Sid for a long time before he became the general manager of the Orioles.
And then, of course, you went to St. Louis, and you went off and led them to the playoffs.
And then, led them to the playoffs, but kind of still remembered in St. Louis. And we had a big banquet a few weeks ago. Matter of fact, it was during the All-Star game, the day after the All-Star game. Tony La Russa had a bunch of us old Cardinals come in, and they paid tribute to Jack Buck, Walt Jocketty, who was the general manager of St. Louis for a long time, that brought in all of those World Championship teams, and Darryl Kyle, one of my teammates.
I had a little bit of a different story when it came to the trade deadline. So I got traded in 2005 from the A's to the Rockies. And this is after spending 7 years in the A's organization. And literally, like, it was, tears, right? Yeah. That was the only family that I know in, and it was heartbreaking. But then I went to the Rockies, and I picked myself up. I'm like, okay, here we go. And I spent 2 weeks in Colorado, and 10 of those games were played on the road. So I spent one series in Colorado. And Dan O'Dowd, who I had not met yet, came up to me right before the trade deadline and introduced himself. Byrnesy, Dan O'Dowd, super stoked to have you. I just want to let you know there's a small chance we might trade you again. He goes, but I plan on keeping you here for a number of years if this does not happen. So either you're going to be here for the next 3 years or I'm going to trade you within the next 3 days. And the night before the trade deadline, I was sitting in a Mexican restaurant right by Coors Field. And my phone blows up with like a 720 number, which is Denver. And I hit ignore. And then it blows up again. I hit ignore. It blows up one more time. I hit fuck ignore. I'm like, no. And sure enough, I go and check the message. Byrnesy, Dan O'Dowd, we traded you to the Baltimore Orioles. Come to the stadium, get all your shit, pack it up, and hop on the red eye. They want you there by tomorrow morning to start. Oh, fuck, man. And then sure enough, there we go. I leave there. I grab my stuff. I pack it up. I'm at the airport. I'm on the red eye. I show up in Baltimore the next morning. Lee Mazzilli is sitting there in his office. They were in contention. They were like 4 back at the time. He's smoking a cigarette, eating a big old stack of pancakes, and drinking a cup of coffee. He's like, yo, Byrnesy, hey, man, I've been trying to get you here for a long time. He goes, you're my starting left fielder. He goes, I got 3 rules. Number 1, you show up on time. Number 2, you play hard. And number 3, you steal every fucking time you get on base. Then takes a drag of his spag at like fucking 9:30 in the morning. And sure enough, I think I've told you this story before, but I hit a double down the line. I think it was my second at bat against Jose Contreras. And I'm on second base. I go, well, I showed up on time. I'm always going to play hard. But the 3rd rule is you steal every fucking time you get on base. So I got all happy feet out there, and then Contreras picked my ass off. So, yeah, there was my trade deadline story. It sucked. Dude, getting traded is weird, man, because there's certain times where, like, you want to get traded, right? And you want to move on. And even with my situation in Oakland, like, it wasn't the best because I felt like there were times I performed really well and still wouldn't get an opportunity. So I was, part of me was happy about the trade, but, you know, part of it's heartbreaking. It's like, I got to imagine, Thrill, you leaving the Giants for the first time and signing with the Rangers.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, here I was, you know, trying to sign back with the Giants and be a Giant for life, and you're basically told, no, go to a free agent market. And you're like, really? Seriously?
Fucking idiots. So stupid.
Yeah, so that was the part that was real bittersweet to me. And, you know, it was done by Peter McGowan. And so, you know, until Peter McGowan stepped down, we talked about this the last time we were on the show. Until Peter McGowan stepped down, I was not coming back to the Giants. He didn't even talk to me. And then as soon as Bill Newcomb took over, like I said, a week later, he called me and wanted me to be a Giant again. I'm like, oh my God, that's the greatest news in the world. So anyway.
Why do you think that was? Like, how could an owner possibly have any issue with the guy that electrified the city and literally made baseball great in San Francisco?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. I mean, all I know is, you know, he was responsible for, you know, signing Barry, and you know, he put all his chips in that basket. You know, and you and I already talked about it. I mean, he even said, you know, he said we're going to get pitching, and you know, the next year they didn't sign me and go get Mark Portugal, and he didn't do with the Giants. So anyway, but one of the things. Down the road. I enjoyed my time in St. Louis. Good Lord Almighty. Joel's in the audience right now. Joel was at the deal the other night, and man, the time in St. Louis was awesome. You know, it's such a great baseball town. It's such great baseball fans. They know everything that you're doing, and yeah, I loved being in St. Louis. It was a lot of fun.
So, Thrill, I don't know if you've been following this at all, but Emmanuel Clase is one of the premier closers in the game of baseball. He's been put on indefinite leave because he's under investigation for a multitude of first pitches that went awry when he came into the game. And there's been suspicious betting action on these certain pitches, which is just fucking ridiculous that you can even bet on a pitch. But you can. And all of these pitches, the majority of them ended up being balls. I believe it was Luis Ortiz from the Cleveland Indians as well, who is under investigation. He's been put on leave for at least a month now. What the fuck is happening around Major League Baseball, dude?
I didn't know anything about any of this. This is news to me, but you know, sounds like the mob might be dipping their fingers into the big game of baseball. But you know, uh, that's one thing you can't do.
I couldn't imagine, like, I would never, like, the throwing at bat, like, yeah, bro, you can't pay me enough money to tell me even to take a first pitch strike in any at bat. Like, there's not an amount of money, because in my mind, no matter what, and this is why the mob or other institutions have never infiltrated the highest level, or it's very rare that they infiltrate the highest level, is because you can't pay them enough,
right?
Where they're going to make more by taking your bullshit than they would if they have success on the field.
Yeah.
Right.
So this Luis Ortiz guy, they got him suspended because they say he's throwing some at bats.
No, bro, he's just throwing. They were throwing pitches, like first pitches of the at bat. There were balls, so they were betting on like whether or not it was going to be a ball or strike, which is, it's just fucking dumb, man. Like, if you're,
I wonder how that news got out. I wonder, because usually if you're cheating like that, you keep that shit quiet.
It's betting action. So they saw suspicious action where, right, like, I don't know, all of a sudden there's $20,000 that comes in on Emmanuel Clase throwing a ball in the first pitch of the ninth inning. And they're like, wait, hold on a second.
Yeah.
And then you see this repeatedly happening. And they were saying, like, of the 22 pitches that he's throwing in the ninth inning, 11 of the 22 have just been non-competitive, like not even close to being a fucking strike.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
This way, I mean, I hate to say it, because he's gone, but that's what they got Pete Rose with, got him for gambling.
Yeah, but Pete always bet on his own team.
Still not Hall of Fame, and should have been the first one in. So,
well, speaking of the Hall of Fame, I watched the Hall of Fame induction ceremony on Sunday. I watched Ichiro's speech, a former teammate of mine. It was so fucking cool to see him talk in English, basically for the first time in this massive press conference. Dave Parker, Dick Allen, CC Sabathia, and Billy Wagner also inducted into the Hall of Fame. Your thoughts on the ceremony and all these guys getting inducted?
I had a chance to play against Parker, the Cobra, and what an unbelievable presence he was on a baseball field. Had a 290 average, 339 homers, 1,490 RBIs. So he had the numbers to back up, the Hall of Fame career. Dick Allen was a little bit before me. And Dick Allen was big slugging first baseman with the Phillies, had 351 homers, 1,120 RBIs. But one thing that he had was he had a pretty good WAR. He had a 58 WAR. I don't know anything about CC Sabathia. I didn't face Billy Wagner, and Ichiro. I didn't play against him. So you can take those guys. The only thing I can tell you is freaking Billy Wagner had a 60 WAR.
Really?
And a 62 WAR. So that's all I can tell you about those guys. So those guys were pretty instrumental in the games that they were in, put it that way.
All right, that's cool. I want to know about Dave Parker because when I see a picture like this where it says, if you hear any noise, it's just me and the boys bopping. I mean, Thrill, this guy looks like he's one of us.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, he was in the We Are Family gang over there in Pittsburgh. Him, Willie Stargell in the middle of the lineup, and those guys talk about bopping. They could bop all right. Both of them are Hall of Famers. So pretty unbelievable. And then I got a chance to know him when he was playing for the Reds, and then also when he played for the A's. So I had plenty of conversations with Dave Parker at first base. He was a fun guy.
Was he as badass of a motherfucker as he appears to be in this photo?
He was pretty bad. 6'5", 6'6", well put together, cannon for an arm, power to any part of the field, and as you can see right there, he liked to have him some fun.
I mean, putting down a smag in the Dougie before the game, just chilling with that fucking Pirates hat on.
Yeah, you had the Lee Mazzilli reference before, Lee did that crap. Wally Backman, all those guys, they smacked it up,
Yeah. So what was he like as a person?
He was pretty cool. Yeah, he was pretty cool. I mean, he was one of the good dudes. He'd come over there and talk to you, and if you had a technical question, he'd answer it for you. So he was pretty cool. But other than that, it was just, hey, Thrill, how you doing, my man? What's going on? He'd hit you in the chest or something. So he was fun just being over there talking.
So CC Sabathia, inducted into the Hall of Fame, had a fantastic speech. Gave a lot of love to the women in his life, his sisters, his mother, his wife, from Vallejo, California, so a Bay Area guy. I faced him when he first came up with Cleveland, and this dude was upper 90s, two-seam fastball, moving this much. He had a changeup or split that just dropped off the table, a slider to go with it. He was one of the nastiest pitchers I ever faced in the game of baseball, Thrill. And when he was at his height, he actually threw me a changeup. And I don't know, the count might have been 1-1 or something. But I did see it early. I stayed on it, and I hit a fucking bullet up the middle. And I come around, hit first base, take a good turn, and I'll kind of come back like this. And he walks all the way over to first base. And he goes, hey, man, that's a great piece of hitting. And I'm like, whoa. Usually, nobody says shit when you get a hit like that. And obviously, it's the pitcher. It might be the first baseman that says something. But that showed you the confidence that he had. And basically, he was saying, nobody hits my fucking changeup like that. Yeah. You just did. I tip my cap. Yeah. And then to watch him go on and have the career that he had, reinventing himself when he was with the New York Yankees, became a cutter guy, sinker guy away. It's fun to watch when you get pitchers like that have those type of careers.
Yeah, and there's a lot of guys that do that. I mean, like Greg Maddux was 93, 94 with the Cubs, and he had the changeup, but then he had a good curveball and all that stuff. And, he fell in love with the changeup, kind of lost his fastball a little bit. And then you got, people like Glavine did the same thing. And so now you talk about CC Sabathia, reinventing himself as he got older into a different pitcher that was still successful. So you got to love it.
So Rafael Devers just made a sick play at first base, Thrill. They've been throwing him out there.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on Rafael Devers and how he's been doing over at the one bag?
You know what? He's been doing okay. He took a little heat the first or second game he was out there because he had a few bobbles and there was a double play that didn't get turned and all that sort of stuff. He took a little bit of a heat, but he's making it, and it's good right now to have him actually being out there and playing because it kind of gives Wilmer Flores a little bit of a break. He can rest his legs a little bit and. Gets Rafi kind of into the flow of the game. Instead of just sitting on the bench, be a DH, now you're in the game and you got defensive stuff you got to do and all that and get into the flow of the game.
Thrill, you're going to be out in San Francisco next week. Do you plan on working with them?
No, I'm going to be with the minor league team. I ain't going
to
Major League. Yeah, no, I ain't going to Major League. I'm going to be seeing the San Jose team.
Okay. So you will not be working with Devers next week. You'll be in San Jose.
I'll be working with the first baseman of the San Jose Giants.
Oh, man. What a great drama that was.
This guy right here used to be a former Giant farmhand. We traded him, and I was like, no, don't trade him. He was our best hitter at the time. It was Reynolds.
Yeah. He's had Brian Reynolds has a fantastic career.
Yeah, no, and he goes on to Pittsburgh, and he's an all-star and all that. And I'm like, God damn it, he could have been an all-star for us. But they had traded him, so anyway.
He's got a dirty-ass mustache, too. Look at that thing.
You're
Fuck.
all over the stashes. Look at you.
But, dude, that looks like a raccoon on his upper lip.
You're a stash hound. So anyway.
Verlander on the mound, top of the first inning, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Reynolds at the dish. 232 on the air. It's an 86 mile per hour. Called a split finger over Chapman at third base, and they're out of the top of the first.
That was a split that looked like a hook.
I don't know.
All right, well, you got to put it this way. You had a 1-2-3 first. That's a good thing.
We'll take that. All right, Thrill. So you're in the garage, dude. I don't care what you want to do, how you want to do it, why you want to do it. Let's get up there and talk a little hitting, and really, we have a young audience here, believe it or not, that pays close attention to a lot of the hitting instruction that takes place here on DEUCES WILD. So, if you had any advice to some young hitters before we get going here on the number one thing that you need to think about before you step into the batter's box, what would that be?
Number one thing is get a strike. If you get a strike, that's what you work on in batting practice. That's what you work on off the tee or whatever it might be, getting strikes. If you start chasing balls off the plate, up, down, in, out, the whole works, your batting average is going to go down, your production is going to go down, all of that. Make it be a strike. If it's not a strike, the count goes into your favor, the at-bat goes into your favor, and if you walk, the next guy gets a chance to hit with runners in scoring position. So there you go.
Simple as that. You got to get a good pitch to hit.
You got to get a good pitch to hit. For guys like me, because middle of the lineup, I got pitched pretty tough. I actually worked on the tough pitches. And so a lot of times there'd be a ball out over the plate and I'd take it and I was like, oh, Jesus. And like I'd step out the box and I'd look at the catcher and the catcher's like looking up at me going, how'd you take that one? And I was like, I don't see those. So it caught me by surprise, but now over here doing my thing, it's going to be just having fun.
So here's Falter, a left-handed pitcher, wearing number 6. Heliot Ramos leading off. You see the numbers 269 on the year. The Giants wearing their psychedelic uniforms tonight. Yes. You typically would take acid before you put these things on, but I think that's prohibited within Major League Baseball unless you're Doc Ellis.
It's prohibited. Some of these guys could use some acid, though.
Well, that becomes a question, man.
Okay. So now here's the thing. So this guy Falter or whatever just tried to throw 2 pitches into Heliot Ramos, both of them are balls. So now I'm betting everything in the house that this ball is going to be away.
No, he throws in again. They're
Throws in
fucking
again. All right.
trying to pound him in.
Guess what? That's what you do. If you're looking away and he throws in, take it.
Take it.
No big deal. Got a strike on me. So fucking what? Here we go.
Okay, 3 balls, 1 strike. The pitch to Ramos, a breaking ball. I mean, why the fuck would you throw a breaking ball?
Leadoff hitter and you throw him a breaking ball. What are you scared? You play it. It's 415 to right center. Why don't you throw him a fastball away? See if he can hit it that way.
Right?
Dude, this game's screwed, man. Woof.
Just throw the fastball away and we'll see.
All right, here's Devers. Let's see if this guy comes in on Devers or not.
He's set up right down the middle. And it goes right down the middle, and Devers takes it. Dude, Devers' foot is so open that he's actually hitting the line of the batter's box on the outside part. I've never fucking seen this. Look at that.
No. Yeah, and then the one thing that when he's going good, he kind of closes up a little bit, and when he's going bad, he stays open. So, that one right there, he was open again, and he missed another fastball right there. So
the Pirates wearing a patch on their jerseys that says Cobra. That's really badass, man.
That is cool. I saw that last night. I was like, that's cool.
0 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch right down the middle, and Devers takes it.
Oh, geez.
Sit the fuck down.
That was a 3-pitch, 3 fastball. See you later at bat.
Dog shit at bat, huh?
Whatever.
I said it. You didn't. Don't worry about it.
You said it.
I
get in trouble when I talk about him, so I can't say anything.
Yeah, I'll take care of that. Dog shit at bat. Fucking terrible. All right, here's Adames thrill. Adames with his white cleats tonight, not wearing purple. Adames has been hot, man.
Yeah.
237 average. Runner at first, 1 out.
Josh put on there Joey Bart behind the dish. Is he behind the dish? Because I thought he was hurt. I thought he had an oblique.
Well, I can check the lineup. It kind of looks like Joey Bart. He's a big guy, right?
Yeah. So he called another fastball in. So this is 3 hitters in a row that he's called fastballs in. Let's see if he comes back in again. Coming back in again.
Runner goes. First move, he's going to be safe.
All right. So now, you got 3 hitters in a row where he has tried to come fastball in. He's trying to establish the fastball in so that he can start throwing his off-speed stuff wherever else he wants to go. But in the meantime, if I'm a right-handed hitter, I walk up there, I look fastball in, and I back off the dish a little bit.
Joey Bart is behind the dish tonight for the Pirates. A runner on second, 1 out. 2-0 pitch to Adames. The ball's left up just 91 miles per hour. So, back in the day, it was kind of normal. 91 these days is like fucking 87 back in the day. But then again, dude, we don't even know how they're measuring this shit, right?
No, we don't know.
Okay, 3 balls, no strikes. Green light, yes or no? The ball's up.
Change up?
No, it was 91 up in the zone. He called it a fucking strike, and it was a ball. All right, Thrill. 3 balls, 1 strike. What are we looking for here?
You got to look fastball because that's what he's throwing. And if he throws off-speed pitch, just adjust.
I say middle in, too. It's a fastball left out over the plate. Adames fouls the ball back. Can't believe that he missed it.
Yeah.
How is Adames as a guy? I mean, you've had a chance to meet him.
I've seen him. I've seen him on the field and off the field. Believe it or not, I had breakfast with him one day, and he's a good dude, happy-go-lucky, fun guy. I think he takes a lot of pride in his work because I've seen him come out on the field, take extra batting practice at least 5 times or 3 or 4 times already this year. Each time I've been in San Francisco, he has taken extra BP. Another fastball in right there.
Another fastball in the full count pitch. He missed. A good job by the umpire not calling it a strike. Framed it very well. Here's Chapman with a little bit of that lip lettuce, just like a little dirt swirl, a little cookie duster. Not a ton there. Certainly wasn't Reynolds-esque when it comes to the mustache.
Yeah.
93 thrill in off the plate, his highest velocity pitch of the night.
See, that right there, okay, for me personally, if I am looking in like that and I've already backed off the plate, that pitch right there is kind of out over the plate for me. Even though if it's off the inside corner, I'd probably swing at that pitch because I've already backed off the plate.
Here's Matt Chapman. He looks a little closer to the plate. I actually kind of like where he is right now.
Breaking ball.
Well, as soon as runners in scoring position, isn't that what they do? They go to the fucking breaking ball.
As soon as we run in scoring position, break ball.
Beautiful view of San Francisco right there with the sun about to set. 0-0, bottom of the first inning. 1-0 count to Chapman. Fastball right down the fucking dick, man. Infield fly. He drops it. The runner's got to stay home. You dumb motherfucker. Oh, shit.
No
Gosh
way.
damn it, man.
No
Stay
way.
the fuck home. Infield fly. I just fucking said it. Fuck. Stay home. I tell our 13U let them play team. As soon as that ball goes up, I yell to runners, stay there, stay there, stay there. Oh, shit, man.
That is a major leaguer making a little league mistake. And on top of that, I wish I could say that that's the only time he's done it, but he's done stupid shit like that before. It's like, God damn it. Do you know what you just did? You took us out of a chance. All right, yeah, Chappie popped it up. But maybe the next guy will get a base hit or a home run or something. You just took us out of a freaking inning by being a dumbass.
Well, you had Flores on deck. I mean, dude, he's coming up. You have another chance with runners in scoring position. You have to know that as a big leaguer. When you hear infield fly, close your eyes if you're a base runner and just go back to your base and fucking stand on it. I don't even want you looking at the fucking ball.
Unbelievable.
What the fuck? Oh,
Here's one for you. All right. I saw this one the other day. All right. And I forget which game. It wasn't a Giants game. Second, third, infield in, ball hit to the third baseman. He comes home. The runner gets hung up. In the meantime, the runner from second goes to third. Okay, fine. If I am the catcher or whoever's running the guy back, I'm running them all the way to third base, and I'm tagging both guys.
Of course.
Okay? The guy who is going to be out is the guy that's coming from second base.
Come from second, of course.
Third base is occupied by that other runner.
Of course.
He is not the occupying runner. So he's the guy that's out. I couldn't tell you how many times we've done this before in the past where you tag both guys and the guy from third steps off the bat, you get him, you get a double play out of the deal. I couldn't tell you how many times I've seen that.
This is a problem with the game today. I can honestly tell you that the fundamentals are lacking. And there's certain things that transpire through the course of a Major League Baseball game that will make me scratch my fucking head. And so, like I tell our Let Them Play kids, this is an awesome opportunity to separate yourself from all the other top national players. You want to be the guy that when you have other coaches and scouts eventually in the stands and watching you play, you want them saying, holy shit, man, that kid knows how to play the game of baseball.
Yeah.
And that's a reflection upon you, the manager, the coach of the team.
Yeah.
And that's why this sucks for the Giants right now, because I know Bob Melvin's fucking taught all this shit.
Oh, yeah.
I played for Bob. Bob is a really good manager, obsessed with details. And to see a mistake like that by a veteran who's someone who's been around the game at least a few years now with Ramos, it's inexcusable.
Right. And you got Matt Williams as third base coach. Matt knows all this shit. And I know deep down inside, Matt wants to go, what the fuck are you doing? But he can't do it on the field and show up as a player. Whereas back in the day, we used to do it whether we showed you up or not. It's like, you're going to learn the game, motherfucker. Pay attention.
Let's watch this guy right here, O'Neal Cruz. There is very few people who have ever played the game of baseball that have as much talent as this guy.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't mean he's going to be a Hall of Famer or he'll even be a perennial all-star, but when it comes to the metrics, the exit velocity off of his bat, how far he can hit a baseball, how hard he could throw a baseball, this guy is crazy talented, Thrill. How much have you seen of O'Neal Cruz, and how impressed have you been?
I've seen a lot more of him lately because of the All-Star game and then seeing him play last night. And, one thing that I saw, he was playing, like I said, he was playing strike three, by the way. Hang with him.
It was right down the middle, too. This is why he's not going to be –
put it this way, the Giants must figure something out because Wisenhunt threw him a shitload of changeups and Verlander just threw him a shitload of breaking balls. So they must have figured something out on him.
Yeah,
but
don't
anyway,
hold on a second.
Yesterday was him in the outfield covering a lot of ground. He did a good job covering some ground.
Here's Tommy Pham. Verlander looks good, dude.
Yeah.
I just like the way he's manipulating the baseball, going in and out, off speed.
Yeah. This guy, when he first came up, he was with St. Louis, and he was supposed to be all that. And he just – I've never seen the power that he was supposed to have. I think
Pham's been a good player for a long time. He has. Not great, but he's been good.
Yeah.
And he's a very controversial figure. He's a guy in the clubhouse that he's not afraid to say what the fuck he's thinking.
Yeah, no. And I know him and Jock Peterson, when Peterson was with the Giants, they had a little something going on where they had a little push and shoving, maybe a slapping match in the outfield before the game one day.
Yeah, it was because Jock Peterson apparently manipulated the rules of their fantasy football. And Pham was not very happy about it, so he fucking bitch slapped him.
Yeah, that was it.
All right, Thrill. Well, let's do this, man, because you're in the garage.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and by the way, here's my new shirt. It's like Krispy Kreme logo, and it says Fresh Dingers Hit Daily. So there you go.
Badass, dude.
All
Where'd you get that shirt?
Just my wife keeps finding them. I keep freaking wearing them.
So good. Speaking of shirts, here is the Deuces Wild shirt now available at the NoFilterSpiritSale.com. I know plenty of people went on and ordered some gear last week, but Pham, good hitters get jammed. That's going to be a base hit up the middle.
So I know Big Mike, Josh, I know Joel, all of those guys texted me. They bought some swag. So thank you to those guys. So what's your first thing you got going as far as this goes here?
Well, Thrill, so right now, I was out with the boys yesterday on the field, and I told them, I said, hey, look, I want you guys to warm up how you guys want to warm up. Everybody has a different routine. I want you to show us what your routine was when you pulled the tee out in the back alley of Candlestick Park and went into your, okay, I'm going to get ready for the game today. What was that process like, and where was that tee at Candlestick?
So if you have home plate, all right. So I'm at the at the bottom of the screen with the plate. So this would be dead center of home plate, and this is the outer third. I always started outer third because first off, that's where I got pitched. Second off, 75% of the balls you're going to see in the major leagues are going to be away from you. So I always worked on that to start out with, and then I moved the tee around accordingly. One of the things that we didn't have to worry about we didn't have to worry about the high strike because everything was like, kind of right up in here or below was our strikes. Now these guys are getting this pitch. So we'll work on that here in a minute. But this is going to be my just get going and just take a few swings. What I'll do is, because I hadn't swung, since before we got on here, I'll take it probably, I don't know, maybe about 70% for the first swing, and then I'll ramp it up after that. All right, so here we go. All I'm trying to do is try to keep my hands inside the ball, and I'm trying to make perfect contact with this thing. So let's see if I can do this. Oh, God, right out the chute, I ought to stop there.
Some people are just allergic to barrels.
That was kind of the way it's supposed to be. That's another one. That's 2 in a row. All right, one more time. Let's see if I can do 3 in concussion. Yeah, there we go. All right.
So, Thrill, you literally defined the term tension-free barrel release. How is it that you developed that fluidity to be able to snap that barrel through the zone?
So, Dusty Baker, we talked about it before. I was kind of a straight up and down type of guy, and then I'd rock back, and then I'd go, right? And so that was having problems getting me timing on fastball and all that. So Dusty Baker said, let's go ahead and start back. So now I'm back, all right? So I'm kind of on my back leg. Here we go, and I go, what gets me from going too far that way? I said, because I'm going to take a stride anyway. He said, hit against a stiff front leg. Okay, that makes sense. All right, that way I can't push through it and get my head and everything out here. Now, he said, let's add a rock in there to get some rhythm and some timing off the pitcher. So I started rocking, right? And, I got the bat little swag going right there and all that. And look, I mean, my fingers, I can barely, hold on to it. But then when I load and I get back like this, I lock down and then off I go.
So, Thrill, when I was a kid, I obviously did not hit left-handed, so I hit right-handed. But the one thing that I did take from your swing was the fingers. And I would be up here like this right before I loaded, and then it was boom, like you said, locked down. But instead of that lockdown being 100% grip pressure, it was probably the grip pressure was 30, 40% to 80%.
Yes.
Where this still then provided the bat fluidity and whip through that zone.
Fluidity, and for you, it's guide. All right, I'm not like this is 100% taking over this. It's like, all right, this one, my bottom hand is the one that's pulling this son of a gun through there, and the top hand's saying, okay, let's go this way. Okay, let's go that way. Okay, let's go this way. And so you're kind of doing the same thing. You're getting it going with your bottom hand, which is your big dominant hand, and then the other hand's guiding it through. Okay?
Well, it's interesting because you were left-handed, so your dominant hand was your top hand, yet you're talking about the strength of that bottom hand. Did you feel like you were stronger with the bottom hand or the top hand?
I'm definitely stronger with my bottom hand. And on top of that, my top hand, this is the elbow that I broke my rookie year. So it definitely was not as strong as this one. So that's why this one takes over and was pulling it. And this is where I got all my power from. And the other one was just guiding it through.
Did you ever do one-handed drills?
I did a little bit one-handed drills. But the one-handed drills that I did, all right, I gotta show you this. And this is for your LTP kids. All right. When you do a one-handed drill, I'll do it right here for you. When you do a one-handed drill, you pull in this way, pull in this way, pull in this way. Look at my back path. My back path is coming from my shoulder down to the baseball and it's staying flat. I see so many guys going like this now. They go like this. They bring that elbow up and that bat head drops. Look at bat head dropping. All right. This is the bullshit that we're talking about being underneath the baseball and dipping and ripping and all of that bullshit that these guys on the YouTubes talk about. They're talking about whacking, dropping your barrel and all that sort of shit. No, you want your barrel to stay flat. You want your barrel to stay flat. Look how flat that is all the way through. And then when I go to the top hand, I'm doing the same thing. Wham, wham, wham. All right, another thing too. All right, I'll turn around for you. My elbow does not get trapped in here. I don't do this. All right. As soon as your elbow gets trapped in, your barrel drops. Okay, which is what a lot of younger guys do. Free up that back elbow. So you go wham, wham, wham. And then that is that bat path that we're talking about. We're establishing this bat path. This bat path. And so what you're doing is when you do that bat path, you are basically trying to do a golf swing. You're basically trying to come a little bit down on the ball and get the back spin on the baseball.
Mm-hmm. When you go to hit the baseball, are you thinking about hitting the top half, the middle half, or the bottom of the baseball to create that backspin?
Very good. Very good point. I am trying to hit, for me, it's going to be the inside, like corner of the baseball, because I'm creating that path. I'm creating this path, and I'm trying to hit the inside. So I'm actually taking my bottom hand to the baseball, and then the barrel of the bat's going to follow my bottom hand. And so I'm coming inside the ball, dead center, inside the ball, dead center, inside the ball, dead center. And that was what Barry Bonds and I worked on at home plate, where I told you we worked on it to try to get the ball to stay straight down the right field line. And then we worked on it to keep the ball straight into left center so that, nobody could track you down out there. That's exactly what we're talking about. We're coming inside the ball, inside the ball, inside the ball, every time.
So you told me about this before, where Barry would get out there and literally hit a ball that would start foul down the right field line and then come back fair.
Yes, because he got inside the ball so much, he actually created like side spin. The ball would come back into fair territory. And when you do it correctly, it's pretty amazing. So we were in San Francisco, last time I was in San Francisco, and Adames was hitting. And I told him the same thing, stay inside the ball, stay inside the ball. And he hit a ball right center, like deep right center. And the ball actually came back towards center and went out the yard. If it had stayed straight, it'd have hit the wall. But instead it came back and it left the yard. And he was like, oh my God, it was like something he'd never heard before,
It came back to the shorter part of the yard too.
Yep.
That's so fucking cool. I got to go back because I remember that home run. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep. All right. Let's see. I'm trying to see. Nobody's saying anything. Oh, there you go. Anthony's saying something about your back hip through the ball. All right. We'll do that one right here. That's going to help your LTP kids. Anything else you want to talk about while we're at it?
No, you flow. What about the back hip to the ball? I like that.
Let's do this. This is a great drill. This is a great drill for your kids.
And look at this fucking guy. I mean, he's out on one of these e-foils, just perusing the bay.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, don't worry about him. Let's move on.
All right. So we're talking about taking my back hip to the ball. All right. So this ball right here is away from me. All right. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my stride, and then I'm going bam, and I'm throwing this in through the ball, and I'm getting all the momentum, all of my weight behind me going through the baseball so I can drive it to left center. Okay. If we wanted to do this on a ball in, this ball's in, same thing. All right, here I go. And then what I do is I explode and I get through the baseball this way, all the way through it. And then this hit drives me through the ball. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. When you went into an at-bat, did you think about hitting the ball to left field, left center, or right field? Or did it just depend on the situation?
It kind of depended on the situation for me. But let's go through something with nobody on. Let's say nobody on, nobody out. All right, I am trying to hit a ball either back at the pitcher or in between the pitcher and the shortstop. That is my target because that means I'm getting my direction going perfect. That means everything is square at the point of contact, and I'm getting acceleration going through the ball.
I really like that. I know you looked for different pitches. Did that change your approach when you were looking for a breaking ball as opposed to a fastball?
So one of the things, all right, that I try to teach, whether it be the major leaguers, whether it be the minor leaguers, is if you stay inside the ball. We just got through talking about Barry and I pulling our hands inside the ball, pulling our hands inside the ball. If you keep your hands inside the ball, wham, wham, look at my bat path. Look how flat that thing is staying all the way through, right? Wham. If you do that, you pull your hands inside the ball is going in the air. So if you have a man on second and third and you need a sac fly, it's almost best to look for a breaking ball, keep your hands inside the ball, and the ball is going to go in the air somewhere.
Thrill, a lot of people have said that the worst kind of contact is end of the bat contact. Would you agree?
I agree. Two things that I do not like. I do not like end of the bat contact, and I do not like rollover contact.
Yep.
You know, if you get there and you roll like that, look what happens to the bat. Bat goes up and over. Up and over. All right? That is just a piece of shit ground ball somewhere that doesn't do anything. All right? If you do not roll and you do not break your wrists until after you get way out here, look how flat it is. Look. I mean, look at this. I mean, it's just flat.
Bro.
All the way from my back shoulder, all the way to like way out here. Wham.
I see it. It's a thing of beauty. Andrew McCutchen just did it. And there's a reason why this guy's been a perennial all-star for the past 37 years. I mean, holy shit. Andrew McCutchen at 67 years old is still doing this fucking shit. It's not that hard.
No. And so this is, me, telling you guys, look, when you start staying this flat through the zone, I can actually hit the ball back here. I can catch it wherever I want to catch it and do whatever I want to do to it if my timing's not perfect. When you are doing all this bullshit that these fuckers are talking about like this, and you're coming up at it, dude, you got one place to hit it, maybe, if you're that good to catch it consistently all the time.
That is the truth, dude. I mean, that's the problem. The margin of error is so slim. So if you're not catching it perfect, you're in trouble. And then the argument's going to be, well, how is Aaron Judge able to do this? Well, if you watch Aaron Judge hit, he's here, but his back gets in there, and that's in the zone for a long fucking time. I realize there's some uppercut there, but it's in zone, in zone, in zone, in zone, in zone, in zone, in zone. And he stays on playing the entire time.
That is correct. He's not up and out of it. He might be a little, just a smidge higher than I am.
Sure.
So, all right, so here I go. That's me, right? Aaron might be like this.
Yep.
He might be a hair like that, okay? But he's still in that zone, like you talked about, a pretty good while to where he can barrel that son of a gun up.
Okay? Verlander in a little bit of trouble here, Thrill. There's 2 outs. Oh, never mind. They just rung up Brian Reynolds on a check swing. Reynolds is going to be fucking pissed.
Hang on.
Yeah. Suck on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to do there? This is fucking fantastic. I love you in the garage.
All right. Let me see. Let's see what the chat room's saying while I'm here.
Why don't
All
you
right.
know what? I have a question for you. Why don't show me how you would handle a high fastball?
Oh, good. I'll work on that. Let's see. Anthony's asking a fucking boatload of questions. Anthony, I have no idea what you're talking about. The X Factor. I'll do the what did you just say? The high fastball. All right, let's do that one. Okay.
Yeah, well, dude, one of your most famous hits was
Yeah.
against Mitch Williams, a left-handed pitcher throwing 99 miles per hour, base hit up the middle on an 0-2 count. How and why were you able to get to that pitch?
So I literally had fouled off the pitch before, and I was right underneath it, and I fouled it back. And I stepped out the batter's box, and I go, oh, shit. I was all over that one. I said, I just need to get my hands up a hair higher. The next pitch was the same pitch, and I got my hands up a hair higher and got on top of it. All right? So I'm going to show you that, okay, right now. So normally, all right, now this right here, this pitch right here, I did not swing it. This is a ball for me in my era. All right? But I still worked on it in case my freaking eyes lit up and I did see this. All right, so here would be my normal. My normal would be like right here, and then I'd go from like right here. So right above my shoulder is where my hands would be. So here I am, wham, right there, okay? On a high fastball, all I'm doing is I'm doing the same thing. I'm just riding my hands up a little higher. So look, I went from here to here. I went up literally that much further, and then that allows me to get on top of this baseball and yet stay on that same plane. Does that make sense?
Fuck yeah, man. Yeah,
Okay.
it makes total sense. I'm just wondering why I didn't do that.
Okay. And that was a Tony Gwynn. Tony was like, Will, you get your hands backing up. He said, just ride them up a little bit more. And I was like, fuck, that makes all the sense in the world. So I started practicing it. So hopefully I can get away with it. Like I said, this is something that I don't do a lot of, but let me see if I can get away with it. So I'd be like wham right here. I'd be like wham right here. Now I'm going to go wham up a little higher. All right, here we go.
Okay.
I didn't catch it absolutely perfect, but I got on top of it and never hit the tee. So let's do that again.
Oh,
that wasn't bad.
no, I like that,
Let's
man.
do that one more time.
That had the right sound to it.
Yeah. There you go. That's it right there. So this is not something, like I said, this is not something I tried to do every day because for me, this is a ball. Goes back to what we were talking about, with the kids. Get you a strike to hit and all that. I would let this go. But at the same time, you need to work on it, all right? Because, why? Because the mic has to swing at it in the game, okay? Watch this one, all right? Here is the outside corner. I literally moved the tee that far off the outside corner, okay? So now, this is a Greg Maddux fastball or a guy who's a good sinker slider guy and he's trying to go off the plate on me, all right? Mm-hmm. So what I have done is, okay, I've already said before, I told you this, all right? Normally I'm right here. Here we go, all right? What I would do is I'd back out the batter's box, I'd adjust my batting gloves, and I'd get that much closer to the plate so now I can handle this pitch. So here we go. Here I've adjusted my batting gloves, all that sort of stuff. I get a little closer to the plate. I tap the plate because I want to know exactly where I am in the batter's box. Did I move up enough? All right? So yes, I did move up enough. So now what I'm going to do is, this ball is 4 or 5 inches off the plate, and not only can I hit it, but I can drive it. So here we go.
Mm.
And that is a ball. That is a ball. There's no way that this pitch right here is a strike. But in my era, it got called. So I got to figure out how to hit it.
Well, it's crazy because you had to try to figure out how to hit pitches off the plate, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you're right. Like the one up here was never called.
It was never called. It was never called. Put it this way. You would have more pitches called below the knees than you would above your waist.
Yeah. Thrill. So when you think about today's hitters and you watch them and their process and what they do, how different is it than, say, what we did back in the day?
As far as what?
Yeah, I don't know. Just getting ready for a game.
So when I'm in the cage, all right, when I'm taking BP in the cage, and Josh knows this because he and I talked about this till we blew in the face, all right? Me hitting in this screen right here, okay, I would never hit anything. I would never hit anything above like chest high. When I'm in a cage and I'm working on balls that are moving, I am trying to hit a one-hop rocket back through the middle, all right? Why? Because I'm getting that swing. I'm getting that plane that we talked about, right?
Yeah.
And then in the game, when I get jacked up and I go, oh, shit, there it is, and I miss it by that far, when I miss it underneath by that far, it's a freaking missile somewhere.
Josh, what's up, dude? How are you, man?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Fantastic. Fantastic.
I want to show you something that living with the Thrill during his playing days comes to mind today.
Oh, no
God.
way, dude.
That's right.
Seriously?
That's right. I
So cool, bro. Yeah.
So Will will tell you when he played, I don't know about you, EB, but when he played, when you are on the road, Will, how many bats you carry on the road? 3, 4, 5?
Nah, it's a little bit more than that. Probably on a 7-game set, I carry 6.
At least, yeah.
So for Ryne to give up a game bat and me to have that handy today, rest in peace, Rhino. He was one of the ones that with Mark Grace and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then I want to show you one more here.
That was one of those things, EB, where I mean, when let's say a nobody asks you for a bat, I'm gonna give them a piece of balsa wood,
Yeah.
But, if Ryne Sandberg or Tony Gwynn asks for a bat, I'm gonna give them one of my fucking gamers.
You're damn right.
So let's see if you can identify this.
Tony Gwynn, 19.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. What a beautiful thing. What a fucking beautiful thing.
Look at that. Well, look at the wood. Will, describe that wood. I mean, that's ash. Look at the grains. 1, 2.
So now what you're looking
like a 7-grain bat.
All right, where Tony's signature is, okay? All right, where Tony's signature is the weak part of the bat. That's kind of the bottom of the grains, and on the other side would be the bottom of the other side, okay? Now where Josh is holding right here, you see how straight these grains are right here?
Yeah.
Tony got freaking steel. When you get a bat and it has straight grains like that, dude, that is a piece of steel with an ash bat. And when I would get those kind of bats, those are the ones that Josh knows, I'd go out there and I'd use them, and it'd be like, oh, ball's jumping off of that one. I'd mark it. I'd have some special marking on it. And then I'd use it. I'd use another one, and the ball wouldn't go nowhere, and I'd be like, BP or something like that.
Here's the difference in the handles.
But, yeah, Ryne had
what side? I mean, I got did Ryne? I know Tony swung a 33, right?
Yeah, he swung a 33, 31, and I think Ryne swung a 34, 32. If I had to guess,
dude, 32 and a half, 31. Holy shit, man!
Yeah, that's
Tony. That's Tony's.
That's Tony. All right, so Tony marked his. Does Ryne's have a marking on it?
What does it say?
Put it this way, Josh. Hold them both on the floor or on an object so I can see the height of them. Yeah, so Ryan.
Oh, it's not even close. I mean, that's a fucking 34 at least.
So Ryan swung a 34, probably a 32, 34.
At least. What did you swing?
35, 33. And
That's
then
fucking
when I
nuts.
had a guy that was pumping it up there, it was 4.5, 2.5. But
I was 34, 32 my whole career.
There you go. There you go. But the thing is, when you keep a wood bat, especially ash, when you keep a wood bat within 2 ounces of one another, you're going to get pretty good wood. And if you can get it to 1 ounce, it's even better. So, like when I was in Baltimore, I said, because I was seeing a lot of breaking balls. I said, let me just try it. And I ordered a dozen bats that were 35, 34. And oh my God, when you hit it with a 34-ounce bat,
the pop.
Like hit it with a freaking 2x4. It was a sound that you had never heard before.
It's different, dude. Yeah. If you could swing the heavier bats, and if I were ever doing like a home run derby or something, like the heavier bats, they just have more pop.
Yeah.
That's it.
So
It's just
for Tony Gwynn, then this was to carve out weight?
Yes.
So his was all hands. That guy,
So what you did was, all right, and I'm glad you got one of those because I have not seen one of those. Tony told me, he goes, do you cup your bats? And I go, no, that's what that is. That's a cupped bat. And he said, do you cup your bats? And I go, no. He goes, don't. And I go, why? He goes, because he said, if you hit one off the end of the bat doesn't break because it's a solid piece of wood instead of that cup like that. And he said, you're able to get the ball over the infield. He said, if you have a cupped bat like that and you catch it off the end, it's going to automatically break, splinter, all that sort of stuff. So you actually have a very rare piece because Tony did not swing a cup bat in a game.
really? Interesting. That's probably why he signed it and gave it to Josh.
Yeah, no, I guarantee you. Remember I told you, I had BP bats and balsa wood bats and all that. It's like, fuck, here, take that one with you.
I'm honored to have it either way.
Let's watch O'Neill Cruz 66.1% contact rate. It's one of the lowest in MLB. We have a full count. He's exciting to watch through.
Full count, how many outs?
There's 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Verlander at 66 pitches.
Here comes off speed. Hook.
Yep, popped up. Cannon shit to left field.
Easy to see, guys and girls in this game. Real easy to see. 3-2. You barely going to see too many fastballs.
Guys, I love you. I have company downstairs. I told them I'd be done by 7:15. I'm fucking late. Any final words that you guys would like to share here tonight on Deuces Wild?
I'm waiting for my swag. I hope it's on the way. I'm looking forward to it. Everybody should buy it. It's awesome. Great design. And thanks for having me on.
It's going to come.
Will, thanks for taking the case.
It's going to be a UPS box, and it'll have on the top of it, it'll say Tara Byrnes. She does all the shipping. And
Will, thanks for taking some swings because those sounds are awesome.
Yeah, I only took a few swings in here, but I only hit one. All the rest of them caught pretty clean, so that was good.
And that's right.
Never gets old, man. I mean, seriously, I would just do a whole show by watching you take wax out there in the garage in backwoods Louisiana.
Yeah, and then look, Art even came in there and said you used a cup bat until about mid-'87. No, I didn't, Art. I used a freaking non-cup bat my whole life. Sorry. If I used a cup bat, it was in BP to try it out. I did not use a cupped bat in a game. Never. Not one time.
The nice swing right there was that Tommy Pham base hit up the middle as a second knock. It's actually a double. It's got to be. Look at him.
So anyway, please, if you don't mind, EB, that part about the staying flat through the zone and all that stuff. Make sure you put that on TikTok and make sure you show that to those LTP kids. All right.
Thrill, I got you, man. There's so much good fucking content whenever you're in that garage. Like it's just next level.
And look, we had like I said, it rained a little bit earlier. We had a great day. I had told Josh I was probably going to find a way to sneak into the garage tonight. And if next week I'm actually going to be in San Jose, I already told you, so I'm gonna miss. But then the following week, if it's not too bad, I'm gonna sneak back in here and we can do session number 89, whatever.
What day are you getting into San Jose, Thrill?
I am getting into San Jose on Monday, and the games start on Tuesday, so I'll be there for 6 games.
All right, dude. Listen, I'm not fucking with you. I'm going to be in the Bay on Monday. Let's connect.
By the way, EB, before you go, EB, there is a tsunami warning because of an earthquake in Russia for San Mateo County. Check with who's ever taking care of your
my house. Area. Yeah, fuck, seriously?
Yeah.
They said that in the chat room a little bit ago, and I was like, tsunami?
Yep.
Oh, right. Yeah, dude. If there's a big earthquake, those waves could be coming in.
Yep.
Well, good thing I think we still have insurance on the house. I'm not positive.
I don't think it's going to happen, but, if it does, I'm swimming over to the links.
Swim on over to the links, Josh. You can stay at my flooded house, man.
All right. Thanks for having me on. You guys have a great week.
All right, Thrill. Let's try to connect next week, and then we'll be back on in 2 weeks. For everyone else listening, Apple, Spotify, wherever, if you could leave a review, 5 stars if you're feeling generous, write a little something. It really helps with the ratings and everything else. And then stay tuned because in between the shows that I do with Thrill, I'll do the DEUCES WILD Daily Hustles, keeping you guys updated on all the latest news, scores, and action around Major League Baseball. One last final thing for each and every one of you guys tonight. See